Back to gardenville.tv, and I'm here with Cameo Wood, who's an entrepreneur from Silicon Valley, and she's visiting Ireland. So Cameo, welcome back to Gardenville.
Thank you. It's fantastic talking to you.
And I just wanted to talk to you about entrepreneurship in the Valley and what's going on there right now, and if you could just talk to us about that for a little bit.
Sure. Well, right now, it's funny. I think that right now in Silicon Valley, we're in another boom because everyone is investing. Angel money is pretty easy to be had. I think that the most important thing right now for anyone interested in starting up a company in Silicon Valley is to just start building something. Don't quit your day job, just work on it at night and have something with a few users. And if you have a few users, if you're making any money, even if it's only $10, you have a credible idea, and there are investors lining up around just to invest in you. And you can see that by looking at sites like TechCrunch and seeing that people who have companies like, for example, a friend of mine has LaunchRock, and that's basically just having a site saying, I'm building a company, and if you're interested, put in your email address. That's it. And he just got invested. He's part of 500 startups, and he's getting money and users, and he's about to launch a whole new company based on that simple idea. So it's these simple ideas, people who are clearly interested in starting up a company. There's tons of investment, especially for women actually right now. Women entrepreneurs and CEOs have a lot of interest right now. So basically this is a great time to start getting interested in technical entrepreneurship in California. It's wide open.
And are there trends you're observing in the industry right now? What's hot and what's not?
Well, I think that Ruby on Rails is still really popular. People developing Google apps is still huge. And I think that, things like Facebook apps and other types of even iPhone apps, there's still a huge market. But I think that it's really important right now to have a clear strategy on how you're going to make money. And just the answer of advertising isn't necessarily enough. And there's a huge importance on shipping early, shipping often, and making sure that you have users. Because if you have that, I think that, the other problems are pretty easy to answer with the application of funds. So, and that's what I think entrepreneurs and investors are mostly interested in.
Yeah, that's cool. And tell me, are there thought leaders in the industry that you really kind of follow as have you got anything to say around that?
Well, there's a woman named Katerina Fake. She was one of the co-founders of Flickr, and now she has a company that I totally love called Hunch. And they're definitely a group to watch. And the CEO of that company is Chris Dixon. And those two, they are always right on the money. And the best thing about them is they love other startups and they really encourage them. So they are fantastic. And Hunch.com is their new company, which helps people figure out basically what their preferences are based on a lot of different questions. So they're really interesting. Let's see. And I guess one person that is another friend of mine that definitely understands what's going on in the industry before anyone else does is Joichi Ito. He recently got named to be the head of the MIT Media Lab. But the reason why he's interesting is that he doesn't even have an upper degree in university. He was put into the head of the MIT Media Lab because he knows everybody, and he was an investor in lots of early stage startups. So he knows what's cool, what's around the corner, and you should definitely see if he invests in something. You should probably sign up for their beta list because it'll be very
so
cool.
Any other stuff that we should know about coming this way?
Coming that way. You mean coming to Ireland?
Yeah, and no, in terms of the social networks, obviously, or anything like that that you've observed trends in the industry.
Well, I think that it's interesting. I'm actually really interested in music apps and things of that nature, and so right now I think things like Social Living. I don't know if you guys use that here, but it's something where you can upload all the music that you listen to on iTunes and on Last.fm. Last.fm lets you, every time you play a song, it gets uploaded to Last.fm, so you can actually keep track of all your listening habits for years. And I have about 6 years of listening up there, so it's really embarrassing, the stuff I've been listening to. But and one of the cool things about that is you can basically direct Social Living to what you've been listening to, and it can let you know if anybody who you've ever listened to is playing a concert near you, so you can buy tickets early and keep track of that. So those sorts of things are really interesting to me with regard to keeping track of your preferences and letting you know when something relevant to your interests is happening near you, so you don't have to read the newspaper and keep track of things. It just does all that for you. And also it lets you know which of your friends are also attending. So there's that. And also one thing that I haven't really seen a lot of use, at least here in Galway, but maybe just because it's not such a big area, is geolocation services. So things like Foursquare, Gowalla, based out of Austin.
Facebook check-in.
Facebook check-in, yes, exactly.
Love Facebook check-in.
Totally. And one thing that I think is really huge in San Francisco, and may catch on in other places, I'm not sure, is the idea that if you are the person who's checked into a spot more than anyone else, that you get certain rewards. So, for example, a service like Foursquare, if you've checked in more than anyone else recently, you become the mayor. And lots of places will have a sign that says "free beer for the mayor," or this seat reserved for the mayor. So, like the nicest seat at the bar. So you get lots of advantages for checking into a place really often. And I know that in other stores, they also have free gifts for people who check in for the very first time and had never been someplace. So, for example, at a flower shop, if you check in, you get to leave with a small cactus or a cut flower of your choice. And that makes it so that, if you have a friend who's in town, you can bring them in, they can check in, advertise to their friends that they're there, and then they leave with a gift. So that's really nice, especially if it's a nice, cheap, pleasant gift. So those sorts of things I think are really huge right now in San Francisco, even among people who aren't very technology oriented. And I'm hoping that they'll expand throughout the world, and especially here in Galway.
Well, Cameo, I could keep talking to you all night and all day about this stuff, but anyway, we might have to finish up here. But next I'm going to talk to Cameo about startups, and thanks again. Talk to you soon.